part 2 here with a question. So this is a very, very common one, and it's probably one of the biggest issues for men. So finances and hiring an attorney. So Joseph, what are some tips you can give guys that will allow them to save themselves money in terms of working with their attorney or finding an attorney?
Well, for your listeners in the audience who've never had to hire an attorney, most attorneys work on what we call a retainer system. That's where the client gives the law firm or the attorney a sum of money up front, and then we place that into some sort of trust account where it sits. And then as we do work on your case during the month, we keep track of our time. And then at the end of the month, we run our bills and we debit that trust account for what we've earned that month. The problem comes in when, you don't have the resources or the ability to come up with a chunk of money. So the good news is that there are a lot of lawyers and a lot of law firms now that are finally catching up with the 21st century. They are doing things like taking partial payments, fractional payments, pay as you go, different methods and different ways to pay your attorney, mostly through updated and new kinds of software. Maybe your net worth is $2 million, but you don't have any liquidity. You might have a lot of assets, but not much income. Well, how does somebody like that afford an attorney? Very often the client or the potential client and the attorney can sit down and go over different options. And there are a lot more options these days as an alternative to a lump sum retainer up front than there were even 5 years ago. So if any of your listeners are worried about even booking an appointment because they're not sure how they're going to pay for it, don't worry about that right now. Most attorneys are very willing to work with you, provided that both the potential client and the attorney can agree on a system. That's really what it's all about.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing for me. When you tell them kind of ballpark what it's going to cost to get started, they are rude, dismissive, angry about what you just said, instead of saying, is there any way we can make this work? And generally, you can find some sort of solution, whether it be in California, limited scope, they call it unbundled, where you handle certain aspects of it and you're not doing the entire case, or like you mentioned, all of our software has the ability to do payment plans or monthly billing that can help lessen the burden up front, but also can prevent the attorney from doing all this work and not getting paid.
Yep. There's even something now called a reverse retainer that is gaining a little bit of steam. That's where somebody knows that their relationship is on the skids and probably headed that way. So they start giving their attorney, $100, $200, $300 a month for a year. And then at the end of that period of time, then they pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Almost like layaway for a lawyer.
Yeah, definitely.